You know that moment when the plane lands, everyone claps or sighs, and then reality hits, immigration. The long hallway, the signs in a language you half read, and that one question in your head, do I have everything I need? Today we're talking about what actually happens at immigration, why it can feel so intimidating, and how to move through it calmly and confidently.
And we're not doing this as a scary warning episode. Think of it like a friendly walkthrough. Because immigration isn't a mystery test. It's a process. And once you understand what officers are trying to confirm, it starts to make a lot more sense.
Exactly. So let's start at the beginning. You get off the plane, follow the crowd, and you see the first fork in the road, lines. Citizens, residents, visitors, sometimes e-gates, sometimes all passports. That first choice matters.
And if you're tired, jet-lagged, and hungry, it's easy to drift into the wrong line just because it's shorter. But picking the correct line saves time and awkward backtracking. If you're unsure, ask an airport staff member. That's completely normal.
Once you're in line, you start doing the mental inventory. Passport, visa if needed, landing card if they still use those, proof of onward travel, address where you're staying.
And here's a small thing that makes a big difference. Keep those details accessible, not buried in a suitcase, not scattered across screenshots you can't find. Immigration lines move quickly, and it helps to look prepared.
Now, the desk. The glass booth. The officer. The moment your voice suddenly forgets how to be casual.
It's funny how universal that feeling is. Even people who travel all the time get a little tense. But the officer's job is pretty straightforward. Confirm who you are, confirm you're allowed to enter, and confirm your reason for travel matches your documents and the rules.
So what do they usually ask? The classics. What's the purpose of your visit? How long are you staying? Where will you be staying? Sometimes, do you have a return ticket? And how much money do you have for the trip?
And sometimes questions that feel oddly personal, like what do you do for work? Or who are you visiting? But it's not small talk. They're checking whether your story hangs together. For example, if you say you're visiting for a week, but you don't know where you'll stay, that might raise questions.
Here's the key: short, clear, truthful answers. This is not the time to improvise a novel. If you're visiting for tourism, say tourism. If you're there for a conference, say conference and name it. If you're transiting, say you're transiting and show the onward flight.
And try to answer the question you were asked, not the question you wish they asked. If they say, how long? Don't launch into your entire itinerary. Just give the length and your departure date, if you know it.
Now, let's talk about documents, because this is where people stress the most. Different countries, different rules. But the general idea is, your passport must be valid, your visa situation must match your purpose, and you should be able to show basic travel details if asked.
Basic travel details can include a hotel booking, an address where you'll stay, an invitation letter sometimes, a return or onward ticket, and proof you can support yourself. Not everyone gets asked for all of this, but if you do get asked, you want it ready.
Let's do a quick reality check. Being asked questions doesn't mean you're in trouble. It often just means you're the person in front of them, and they have a checklist in their head.
Right. Sometimes officers are warm, sometimes they're brisk. That isn't a personal judgment. They're managing a lot of people and trying to make quick decisions.
Okay, but what about the things that can complicate immigration? Let's name a few, without panicking everyone.
One common issue is mixed signals, like arriving on a tourist entry but talking about working, helping out, doing a few jobs, volunteering full-time, or staying for months with no clear plan. Even if you mean well, certain words can trigger extra questions because work authorization is a big deal.
Yes. Another one is not knowing your own details. People forget the address of their accommodation, or they can't explain their route, or they don't know when they leave. That can make you appear unprepared, even if you're totally legitimate.
Also, traveling with someone else's documents, or a passport that's damaged, or a visa that's close to expiring. These aren't automatic disasters, but they can slow things down.
Let's talk about demeanor. Because there's a difference between being nervous and being confrontational.
Exactly. You can be nervous, Lots of people are. But it helps to be calm, polite, and direct. If you didn't understand a question, say so. Ask them to repeat it. That's better than guessing.
And if you don't know something, it's okay to say, I'm not sure, but I can check my booking confirmation. Then check it. That reads as responsible, not suspicious.
Here's another practical point. Phones. Some travelers rely on their phone for everything. Hotel address, itinerary, tickets. But if your battery is dead or you don't have signal, you might feel stuck.
So a simple hack. Keep key details saved offline or written down. Your first night's address. Your return date. Your contact person if you're visiting someone. It's old school, but it works.
Now, let's tackle the big fear. Secondary inspection. The moment someone is asked to step aside.
People hear secondary and think it's automatically bad. But sometimes it's just time. They might need to verify something, or the system flagged a routine check, or they want to review documents carefully.
In secondary, you might wait. You might answer more questions. You might be asked for additional proof, like your itinerary, your work ties back home, or the purpose of your visit.
The best move is to stay calm and keep your answers consistent with what you already said. If you're truthful and your documents match your story, it's usually just a delay, not a denial.
And if you're traveling for something complicated, like longer stays, visiting a partner, attending multiple events, having a simple overview prepared helps. Not a speech, just a clear, coherent explanation.
Let's switch gears to e-gates, because a lot of airports now have them. The promise is speed. The reality is, sometimes they're fast, and sometimes they beep at you and send you to an officer anyway.
If that happens, don't take it personally. E-gates fail for silly reasons. Lighting, passport chip issues, face mismatch from glasses or hairstyle changes, or random selection. You just go to the desk and continue.
Now a quick note on families and groups. If you're traveling with kids, officers may ask questions to confirm relationships and consent, especially if one parent is traveling alone with a child.
And groups can be tricky because everyone has a different story. If you're all together but giving different answers about where you're staying, it can cause confusion. Align on the basics before you get to the booth.
And what about customs? People often mash immigration and customs together as one big stressful blob.
They're connected but different. Immigration is about you, identity, permission to enter, purpose. Customs is about what you're bringing in. Food, cash purchases, restricted items. You want to declare what needs declaring. The rules vary, but honesty matters a lot.
Okay, let's make this even more real. Imagine you're a visitor. You get asked, "Why are you here?" What's a good answer?
Something like, I'm here for tourism for 8 days. I'll be in the city for 5 days, and then visiting another town. I'm staying at this hotel, and I fly back on the 27th. Clean, simple, verifiable.
And what's an answer that causes trouble even if you didn't mean it?
I don't know, I might stay longer. Or, I'm just seeing what happens. Or, I'll probably do some work to cover costs. Those phrases can trigger concerns because they suggest uncertainty, overstaying risk, or unauthorized work.
So the theme here is clarity. Immigration officers aren't mind readers. They can't assume your good intentions. They can only work with what you say and what you show.
And if you're thinking, but I'm a nice person, sure. But immigration is not a personality contest. It's compliance. The more your situation fits the permitted category, the smoother it goes.
Let's finish with a quick checklist you can run through before you land. Passport valid. Visa if required. Address for first stay. Return or onward travel details. A way to show bookings or plans. And a one-sentence purpose statement.
And mentally, one more thing. Expect neutrality. Don't expect friendliness or hostility. Expect efficiency. If you get a pleasant officer, that's a bonus. If you get a sharp one, stay steady and keep it professional.
Immigration can feel like the gatekeeper to your whole trip. But when you understand the logic behind it, you can walk up to that desk thinking, I know what I'm here for, I have what I need, and I can explain it in one breath.
And then you're through, you collect your bag, and suddenly the country is real. Not a plan, not a booking confirmation. Real streets, real air, real life.
That's the episode. Next time you're in that line, remember, simple answers, matching documents, and calm energy. You've got this.